So much for jumping on today. My name's Ian. We have a couple folks with us here as well that will do introductions as we get started, but just wanted to, for those of you joining early, thanks so much for taking the time. Really excited with all the content that we have today. So I think it'll be super useful and resourceful. You should see a question section. If someone wants to drop in, just letting us know that you can hear us and that you're seeing the screen, that would be super helpful. And any questions you have as we go, please drop the questions in the questions section. Thank you, David, for confirming that you can hear me. Awesome. Thank you, Gary. Good to see you. Like I said, drop any questions you have as you go in here. We'll try to answer them, some of them during the presentation, but we have a section at the end for Q&A. And thanks again for joining the session. Everyone on the live session will get $500 in free ad credit to use towards your next campaign. So super excited. We have some great information for you. We'll give folks just a couple more minutes. We have a lot of content that we're going to get through, but a lot of folks will jump on top of the hour. But out of the respect for you all that joined early, we'll make sure to get started shortly. All right, great. Looks like a lot of people confirming that everything's coming through, and hopefully you can see my screen as well. All right, looks like we had a lot of folks just join. For those of you just joining us, thanks so much for taking the time. We'll get started in just 2 minutes. Giving some folks a couple more minutes just to jump on. We're having more and more people join here, which is awesome. So as I was mentioning before, really looking forward to the session today. Thanks again for joining, and please stick around because you will get $500 in ad credit towards the end of the call. For those of you that are just joining us as well, feel free to drop in questions in the questions section. Any questions that come up as we go, we'll ask some questions as well. So please just put your answers in there as well. And yeah, we'll address those at the Q&A session at the end. So we'll just give folks a couple more minutes here, 1 more minute, just to make sure that we get everybody. All right, looks like a few more people trickling in. Okay, looks like it's slowing down a bit, so we'll go ahead and get started just for the sake of time. Again, thanks for joining. My name's Ian. We have with us here as well our VP, Chris Bolte. Thank you, Chris, for jumping on.
Thanks for having me, Ian.
Cool. Of course. And we also have another guest with us who will be joining. Her name's Deb Thompson from BDR, a fellow media strategist at an agency who has some good examples of using the platform and has been a power user and someone we've worked with very closely. So she'll have some great information to provide here as well. So to get started, Chris, you want to kick us off?
Yeah, I think first off, to Ian's point, thanks for everyone for joining. We're super excited to have you all here and to share this information, and especially to have Deb Thompson join us and share some of her insights. I think the big topic today for us is talking about how agencies can win big with AudioGo. And so, you know, win is about incremental reach. It's about incremental performance. It's about winning new business and protecting margin while doing it. So today we're going to cover kind of 4 primary things. The first is why audio deserves a larger role in the media mix. Second is SiriusXM Media's role in that as being the largest, most premium digital audio ecosystem in North America. Third is the AudioGo Agency Program. And finally, to Ian's point, Deb Thompson's going to share some insights into how she's integrated audio into her media mix and plans for her clients. And then finally, Ian will give a product demo, as well as talk about what to expect ahead. So as Ian mentioned, myself, Chris Bolte, and I lead our self-serve platforms for SiriusXM Media. Ian, master disaster of all things AudioGo, really understands the platform and how you can best get success from it. And then, of course, Deb Thompson, who you're going to meet in a little bit, who's the media placement strategist over at BDR. Talking a little bit about audio, and just as a level set, there's 228 million digital audio listeners in the United States. And that's a massive scale, rivaling or exceeding many other digital channels. Audio travels with consumers. It captures time that other channels simply cannot. Commuting, multitasking, screen-free moments. Consumers are listening across multiple devices throughout the day, and that creates frequency and reach in moments where your clients' brands would otherwise be absent. If audio is underrepresented in your media mix, you're really leaving incremental reach and incremental performance on the table. For SiriusXM, we happen to be the largest digital audio player in the ecosystem. And that scale really spans not only streaming, but also podcast. So, and by the way, in case folks don't know here, within the United States and ad-enabled listeners, AudioGo's reach is 3 times the size of Spotify nationally, and that translates down at a local level. 100 million streaming listeners, 70 million podcast listeners, a massive in-car footprint, and 66% of US streaming audio inventory runs through the SiriusXM platforms. And what's great, I think incredibly valuable about SiriusXM Media here is that it's not fragmented supply. This is concentrated, premium, brand safe inventory. And so when you activate via AudioGo, you're tapping into that entire premium ecosystem through one platform. AudioGo really has been built in many cases for agencies. And so scale alone is not enough, and it has to work with the agency business model. You get access to that premium brand safe inventory. You have flexibility in how you buy, fully hands-on, or with managed service strategic support. And importantly, you can manage and protect your margins through our margin markup tool, streamlined invoicing, API integrations for reporting. This isn't just about buying media, it's operationally built to fit how agencies function. Going in a little deeper, we have the AudioGo Agency Program. So this is where we really think about how agencies can grow beyond campaign execution. It's a structured growth program designed to help you scale revenue, protect margin, and differentiate in a competitive market. And it's free. Very easy to sign up. Ian will show you later in terms of the sign up page there, but there's a few core components here. First, the financial incentive, financial advantage. You receive special rates and offers, flexible billing options, the ability to manage markups and protect profitability. And audio should be profitable revenue, not just incremental revenue for you. Second, it's about differentiation. Members are listed in our agency directory and have opportunities to join case studies, feature content, promotional support, and potentially even doing a webinar like this. It gives you, the agency, credibility in new business conversations and strengthens your agency's positioning. Third, it's about exclusive access. Early access to betas, priority audience segments, agency-only research. You're not reacting to trends, you're ahead of them. And finally, in some cases, and I think some people would say most importantly, strategic support. So we have dedicated agency support, campaign reviews, optimization guidance, managed service options when needed. Whether you're fully self-serve or you want strategic backup, we have you covered. This program is built on one principle, and it's when agencies grow, we grow. And again, this is a free program. It's easy to sign up, and again, Ian will take you through that. So that's kind of like our quick intro. But really, for the best part of this webinar, I want to introduce you to Deb Thompson, who has been a valued partner of AudioGo and is one of the smartest media strategists we've had the pleasure to work with. So Deb, over to you.
Wow. I was grateful for the invitation, Chris and Ian, but now you just said I was smart. I'm going to hang on to that one. I just want to apologize to everyone that I'm not able to be on camera. Actually, my picture looks better anyway. So, but I hope you can hear me okay. It is an honor to be here. I know there's a lot of agencies out here that obviously you're successful in what you're doing. I hope I can provide a little bit of additional insights that might be helpful to you. But first, let me just explain. You might see on my picture, I have a BXB logo, and that is because BXB is now the marketing arm of BDR. BDR is Business Development Resources. You can see there, we are a business consulting and training organization that basically works to empower our clients with knowledge, industry experience information that helps them drive their profit and growth. And as the marketing arm, BDR builds the structure, makes sure that the organization is aligned for success, and we bring the business in the door. So it's a nice compliment. So Ian, if you'll progress. So why streaming? Why did we really get into streaming audio? We work with home service clients across the US and Canada. So and our clients are in all different market sizes, some of which are highly competitive, and others maybe more in less competitive, maybe a little bit more rural environments, not quite as urban. So we needed a medium that could work for all different types of clients as well as all different types of budgets to actually not only create brand awareness, but drive leads. Because in the home service business, as with probably a lot of your clients that you work with, it's all about the money we're bringing in the door, right? So it's all about leads. Streaming audio provides us with a multi-touch tactic that allows us to influence various places along the customer decision journey. Now, you guys know, that this funnel is really outdated because really these days it's more of a kind of a winding road, if you will, with the decision process, right? The consumer jumps back and forth between all different types of media, but the funnel is something that our clients relate to best. So I hope you'll forgive me for using that. But as you can see here is that we're able to create that brand awareness, name recall, build trust and credibility at the top of the funnel with streaming, and do it in a highly targeted way. And I'll explain more about that in a minute. And then influence the final stages of the decision process in convincing the client or the customer that our client is the best choice for their home service needs through the retargeting capabilities of AudioGo or Sirius. So we use a combination of those things, and as a result, we're able to build brand awareness, increase and improve the results of our paid ads, our Google tactics, and overall reduce our clients' cost per lead. Ian, if you want to move on. So why AudioGo? There's, as Chris said at the beginning, right? There's a lot of other platforms out there. And although we do work with other vendors, the reason that we have leaned heavily on Sirius and Pandora, and specifically the AudioGo platform, is because of that agency program. We're a small piece of the whole BDR organization, and AudioGo and their team, so Ian, Audrey, Chris, the team there, they have been an amazing support for us. They have allowed us to go well beyond our own personal capabilities, just in terms of manpower hours, as well as they've really helped us to understand how we can best optimize this platform. So we utilize it because of the scheduling flexibility it provides for our clients. We can schedule a week, 2 weeks, or we can schedule 4 weeks, a month for the next 3 months if we like. So because of that, it makes it's so adaptable. It allows us to use it for nearly any client. The affordability, Chris touched on this, is the CPMs that are very aggressive, and they have different ways that you can do it with the bid, the bid structure, and I'm sure Ian will explain about that, or more of a set CPM, which we use because we like we like to be able to guarantee our clients a certain spend level. That's important to them for budgeting. So the affordability, and again, this allows us, because we might work with a client that does $1 million a year, but we also might work with a client that's doing $30 million a year. So their ad budgets can fluctuate quite a bit. And so again, having that flexibility and that affordability allows us to work with all clients. The value, again, the high quality environment that Sirius provides. And a big one for us is attribution. I don't know how many of you have heard this, but it seems like I hear it all the time. I just don't know if it's working. Yeah, I see everything, but I can't tell if it's working. Well, we want to make sure our clients know it's working, and we can provide them with tangible evidence of the success of the campaigns. And that can be tough with branding. So their pixel attribution that is available through AudioGo is fantastic. We get up to 5 pixels. Our media analyst, who I believe is on this call, could tell you that they're easy to implement, and they allow us to really gain insights into the level of engagement that we're obtaining with consumers with the different creative. So it doesn't tell us exactly what's happening with every listener that we're delivering an audio ad to, but it just gives us a good picture. The reporting, because of that pixel attribution, is excellent. It's very comprehensive for us. It allows us to give the clients, I'll show you an example of it at the end of the month here, or at the end of the campaign here, the impressions, clicks. We're able to show how each demographic is responding, etc. And again, I can't reiterate enough the client support. The service and support is so unusual for a programmatic platform. We love the ease of being able to quickly set up a campaign and implement, but when you run into challenges or questions or issues, it's wonderful to have somebody like Audrey and Ian and their team there that we can turn to for support. The other thing which we really took advantage of this year was the customized promotions. The team there at AudioGo came to us and said, what can we do to help you grow your business? And we said, we really want to encourage our clients to make longer term and larger percentages of their total marketing budget. We want them to invest in audio. How can you help us with that? And they provided us with research, and they also helped us come up with a special promotion that allowed us to lay in longer term campaigns and larger term campaigns, which ultimately benefit our clients. And then of course, for us as an agency, it reduces our manpower hours because we're not constantly reselling. And then it also, for the client, allows them to see better results because of the longer term campaigns that build that brand awareness. And then the quality ad production, I mentioned we work with clients all over the country. There's a variety of voices. So we're able to get the right sound for the right part of the country. If you're here in the South, you definitely don't want somebody that sounds like they're from New York. So anyway, the production is terrific, and it is very quick. So all of these are really the reasons that AudioGo has, as a platform, has become a real key component of many of our marketing strategies. Ian, if you want to move on. So I think we missed one. Oh, no, I guess we're here. Sorry, the page just looked different. So I wanted to give you an example of one of our clients. So this client, Clear Air, is based in Phoenix, Arizona. They had never done paid advertising. And this is from 2025. So beginning in 2025, we started them in February with an audio campaign. We were using a different vendor at the time, and we got good results. But we were looking to improve the number of people that we were driving to the website and ultimately converting. And so we switched to Sirius because, or AudioGo, because of the high percentage of retargeting that they're able to provide. So delivering that audio ad and then following it up, immediately retargeting those people when they go online with a display ad, which could then click through to a custom landing page on our client's website where they could call for, to set up an estimate or submit a form or in some other way interact with our client. So we did that and we combined that with that retargeting display as well as some other paid ad tactics. Of course, those are always the foundation, right, for any kind of an organization that needs lead capture. So if you go to the next screen, so this will give you an example. I'll show you what kind of results that we were able to see. So this is January through June 2025 as compared to 2024. Now, I'm not saying that the streaming audio was the reason for all of this. As you know, all the marketing works together. But this was, again, the first time that they had used paid advertising like streaming. And so we can certainly take credit that, or we certainly have good, can believe that it had a big impact. So you can see here the total number of sessions on their website jumped dramatically, over 200%. Their users went up significantly, and their Google users. And as you know, branding is always going to improve the return that you're getting on your other marketing. And when we created that brand awareness, people would go to, might forget their name, but when they went to Google to search, because when they got there, instead of just clicking on anybody, they would click on our client more often because they had that awareness, and that trust and credibility was already built up through the branding that we'd been doing. So seeing that increase by 98% was great. And then the big win is always in increasing the direct users because, as you know, that means they're bypassing Google, which helps reduce our clients' cost per lead. And it really frees them from constantly having to deal with the increasing cost of Google. As you know, in competitive markets, it's getting very, very expensive to generate leads strictly through Google. So if you go to the next page, so this is specific to AudioGo. So we delivered 230,000 impressions May through June. And of that, you can see we got 212,000 retargeting impressions. 92% of our audio impressions, we were able to deliver retargeting impressions. And again, I can't speak highly enough of what an important role this retargeting has played in our client success. Our conversions. So in this case, and Ian can provide more insight, but the conversions here are any action that were taken by the consumer after hearing the ad was 1,356, but we drove almost 1,700 people to, or we created almost 1,700 landing page views. And that was over just a 2-month period. So that was pretty exciting for our client. And if you'll go to the next page, we are also able to show them conversion rates by demographic. And this is, I mentioned earlier, the reporting capabilities. I hear quite frequently when a client has been using, someone, another agency or another media outlet prior to joining BDR, is they don't feel like they really know what's happening. And so having reports like this is fantastic for our clients. It provides reassurance and it helps us retain them as a client. So here you can see the breakdown and the conversions versus the impressions. And I just want to point out that, in our world these days where a 0.1 or a 0.2 is actually a good conversion. Seeing a 0.6 or a 1.15, that's pretty exciting. So this is, again, just an example of part of the reporting that we're able to provide thanks to AudioGo. And then the next page, this is a more comprehensive, we have a KPI, key performance indicator report that we provide our clients with each month. And we're able to show them, as you can see, I've got the AudioGo, it shows up as AdWiz, which I believe is a delivery platform, but they're able to see the role that it played in the number of sessions that they had each month. And then if you look over to the right there, you'll see the total users by landing page. So again, this just works as a further verification of the impact that their audio is having on their total website traffic and business. Ian, do we have time to go on to this next one?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well, great. Well, if you go to the next page, I just wanted you to know that, if you're already using CTV or streaming video, you may think, gosh, why do I really need to add streaming audio? Well, I want to show you the impact of those two mediums working together. If you go to the next page. So this is a really great example of what can happen when you pair those two mediums together, because as Chris said, our streaming audio is going to reach our target customer or consumer anywhere they are. And then we're going to reach them at home with the highly engaging video or OTT or CTV, whatever you want to call it. And as you can see here, our web sessions, before we added the audio, we had 20,000 web sessions July through October. When the site users were at 14,000, Google users 11,000, and then direct searches around 1,600. When we added the audio, so we're now running both, look at the jump, double. We went 211% increase in sessions. Users are up 215%, Google users up 121%, and the all-important direct search is up 308%, which is phenomenal. And quite frankly, I'll just say we don't always see percentage increases like that, but it was very exciting for this client to see. So the combination of those two work really well. And I'll also say, although I don't have a case study on it, we find that the streaming audio works extremely well in conjunction with billboard advertising as well, since people are listening in their car, and then they'll have the opportunity to have repeated exposure through the streaming audio and the billboards. It also works great with direct mail, again, building that brand awareness before they receive that direct mail piece in the mail. It does increase our conversion rates there. If you want to go to the next page, this is really just, again, the KPI report that allows our clients to see the impact as it fits into everything else that they're doing. So that is it for me. If you want to go to the last page, really, I just appreciate you guys allowing me to come on here and share a bit about our experience with you all. We're very grateful for the way that you've helped us to grow the number of clients. I believe we've doubled since last year the number of clients we're able to serve. Again, thanks to a lot of support and help from you all.
Thank you so much, Deb. I mean, that was super insightful for us, and it's always great for us to see these tangible results, right? I know audio is great for branding, it's great for brand awareness, but as Deb mentioned, with the pixel and the attribution tracking, you can really kind of point back to audio as helping, one, drive direct activity, but two, really impacting the other channels. So thank you, Deb. Thank you so much for those insights and for taking the time. So I'll kind of jump in here now, and we'll kind of move through some of the specific benefits and platform enhancements and tools that we have for agencies. So for platform enhancements, and we'll dive deeper into all these, but expanded targeting. And by the way, in the question section, if you're a current user, if we don't have certain targeting segments or there's something missing, please let us know. Please drop that in. We're always looking to add more more targeting to help make the platform beneficial for clients, some new inventory that we're going to touch on, and agency margin controls. So I'll show you that in the dashboard firsthand. Really allows you to streamline billing and reconciliation with clients. In terms of measurement, so Deb touched on our pixels. You can track conversions with our first-party pixels, or if you have a third-party tool that you use, like a Magellan or Claritas or any third-party pixels or impression tracking tags, you can use those in our platform as well as an agency. That's an exclusive benefit to agencies, really help you capture those campaign insights. API integrations. This is another one that's relatively new, but some of you are likely using. So we are fully integrated with TapClicks, Bionic, and Improvado. But we do have the ability to utilize our API reporting. You just request a key, super easy to do, just send us a note. But if you're using another third-party reporting platform, drop that in the question section. We're always interested in working with more of the platforms that our clients are using. And lastly, research. So this is something that we can share industry knowledge and research by market. So we can break it out by certain DMAs, MSAs, that sort of thing, comparing digital audio with radio, comparing AudioGo with other platforms, just to really give you that access and those tools to help pitch clients and let them know that, hey, AudioGo can really help you reach your target audience in your area. So reach out to us. We're happy to share that research with you as well. So diving deeper, platform enhancements. So one thing we've done recently, and we appreciate some of you gave us some feedback, and I know sometimes when we release a new tool with the goal of improving, it might not be all the way there just yet, and that's why your feedback is super valuable. We take all your feedback and try to make the platform as best we can. Our audience guide, lately we updated it to provide you ranges to give you more accurate data and more accurate forecasting for impressions, reach, frequency, and your estimated CPM. As Deb mentioned, we have some options around the CPM, but yeah, that's an example of just trying to make the tool better and more informative for our agency clients. Over 1,000+ targeting options, household income, in market for certain cars or certain products or services, in the market for HVAC as an example. So a ton of different options and ways to reach your target audience, all the way down to the zip code in terms of location, city, county, really anything that you need there. We'll take a look at some expanded inventory. We've added some new podcast shows, particularly around sports, as well as some new publishers. We're always adding new inventory, and that agency margin that I mentioned, allowing you to add your markup directly in the platform to help with billing and reporting. API integrations, just touched on those. These are the ones we're integrated with today, but we also allow you just to tap directly into our API. And we're always looking for future integrations on what you use. So please drop that in the question section. We'll do our best to integrate with those. Really, the whole thing here is making it easier for you to access the data that you need in the way that you need to receive the data. Third-party measurement. Yeah, so of course we have our first-party pixel, and you could track conversions. You can use our pixel or UTM links to track clicks and link that up with your analytics. And we all do allow you to track conversions and optimize for return on ad spend. So you actually are able to add that into the platform. Reach out to us. There's a great way to use our pixel to kind of get some of those metrics for you. We now actually have up to 10 pixels per advertiser. So you can track the whole customer journey from the landing page to the information page, a product page, a checkout page, really see what that user is doing after they hear an audio ad. So you really can track everything all the way through. And then, like I touched on, if you're using a third-party tool, you can absolutely use that. So we'll show you where that is in the dashboard today. But you don't have to use our pixels. They're free. You can. You can also use a third-party. This is related to the research. So like I said, we are able to compare performance across key demographic areas to see where AudioGo wins by demographic, by vertical, by region. So really allows that research. You can kind of take it and view it different ways to make sure that you're looking at the right target audience for the client and seeing how AudioGo compares. You'll get those key insights so that you can use that in client conversations, as well as helping you optimize current and future campaigns. And if you haven't already downloaded it, our agency playbook has a ton of these resources in there, some great stats, some great data. And I'd also say, please reach out to us if you need something to help win a client over or get them to test out streaming. We could help you find certain data points by market or by age range, whatever it is. We're here to help out, and that's exclusive to our agency program. So absolutely would love for you to join the program. Like Chris mentioned, it's free. So please reach out. It's really easy to get set up. It's a quick form, and then you're in the program. So highly recommend. Like I mentioned, our new inventory as well. So really the kind of the takeaway here, though, at the end of the day, SiriusXM Media, we have a larger amount of the top 50 shows and the top podcasts in the US on the network. So you see some examples here of probably some big podcasts that you maybe have heard of: Mel Robbins, Caller Daddy, Smartless, Rotten Mango, a lot of those there. Some new sports podcasts that we've added: Fantasy Footballers, I believe the Pat Mayo Experience, as well as Mr. Ballin podcast. So we're always adding new inventory. And in fact, and I'll touch on in a moment, we're going to be doing a promotion for some podcast campaigns next quarter that we're excited about to really help you all test this for clients. And you'll see the great thing about podcasts is that incremental reach. So it really helps you reach more on audience members in that target audience who maybe listen to podcasts more than streaming. But compared to iHeart, 2.5 times more of the top shows. Compared to Spotify, 10 times as many. So we really have the leading shows in our network, and you can access these through AudioGo. So I'll switch gears a little bit here, and we'll go ahead and take a look at the platform directly, and then we'll jump back with some questions as well as the offer that we mentioned. Okay, so this is the platform. I know some of you are existing users. If you're not using AudioGo already, it's free to make an account. Just go to audiogo.com, click sign up. It'll take you 2 seconds, and then you're in the platform and can see how it could work for clients. But we'll do a demo of the platform itself. So once you get logged into the platform, it'll take you to your dashboard here. This is kind of our homepage, if you will. So you'll be able to get a quick read on what's going on with recent campaigns, which publishers have your campaigns been running on. You can adjust these date ranges. And then we have some great controls at the top here for campaigns. If you want to dive deeper into the campaign reporting, which we'll look at, custom reports. So this is something that you can create CSV files that are emailed to you on a regular basis. Again, we also have that reporting API. As an agency, you'll have access to this advertisers tab as well. So this will allow you to set up advertisers, set up pixels, so you can view and customize your dashboard per advertiser. You can have unique billing, unique reporting. Really makes it easy to manage everything from one central location. And then, like I mentioned on campaigns, if you click there, that'll take you here to the campaign dashboard. So we'll come back to this. Certainly want to show you the reporting that's available, but this is all live reporting. That's another great benefit as well. A lot of audio and even digital audio today is bought through IOs, which you might get a mid-campaign report and an end-campaign report. With AudioGo, you're able to access this reporting at any time. Log in, make changes to your campaigns. A lot of great ways for you to understand how things are performing and make changes on the fly. In terms of the capabilities and kind of setting up a campaign, everything's under this create new campaign button here. So you click there, and then it'll take you to this form where you basically just fill out the steps. And we really pride ourselves on an easy to use UI, easy to use platform. You could launch really in a matter of minutes. But there is some complexity behind the scenes that we'll touch on. So if you're an agency, you set your advertiser at the top, select which advertiser that's for, campaign name for your record keeping. In terms of schedule, you can run up to 6 months at a time, but really anything that you need there. So it could be a week, a few days, a month, a ton of flexibility on that. We also have day parting built into the platform as well, in case you want to run at peak drive times as an example, or maybe a client doesn't want to run on weekends, things like that. You have that control. But the great thing about digital, right, we can't put an ad on Pandora if there's not a listener on the other end. So it really is that one-to-one message. We generally recommend to keep this disabled to make sure that you reach as many listeners in your target audience as possible. So we'll start with the streaming side. Today, you do need to select between streaming or podcast campaigns, and we could help you clone a campaign and make it easy to run on both. But there's some slightly different targeting and some capabilities. So once you select streaming, the rest of the form populates. Here's where there's some of that behind the scenes complexity. This is your campaign goals. So this is where you can tell us, do you want to focus on awareness in the sense of we want listeners to hear the ad a few different times? Or do we want to focus on just reaching as many unique listeners as possible with brand reach? Is the goal to get the listener to go to a certain website? Is the goal to focus on conversions with the pixel? So you can use the pixel with any of these goals, but this really helps us to optimize delivery of your impressions based off what the client's goals are. And again, we're always here to help make recommendations on how to best set up a campaign and which goals to use. So that's the goal section. Next is the creative assets. So here is where you'd upload the audio ads. We can accept 30-second ads or 15-second ads on AudioGo. If you have something, you can upload it here. If not, we can produce the ads for you. So we have a couple options here. We have our synthetic voice ad. These are free, these are instant, these are AI generated voice ads. They sound really great. I have an example that I think we have enough time to show quickly, but we can make ads in English or Spanish. You just type in a script. You'll be able to choose between the voice actors and you can preview these, as well as choosing the background music. Again, you can preview those. And here's a quick example. This was just a script I put together this morning. So a quick example, and like I said, you're able to type in the script there. We have some tips and tricks to make emphasis at certain letters to make it easy, but you can actually preview it here as well.
It's time for the Main Street Toyota President's Day sales event. Unwrap huge savings on every new Toyota. Get 0% financing and no payments until May. Whether it's a sporty RAV4 or a family-ready Sienna, you'll drive into spring in style. But hurry, these deals go away March 31st. Main Street Toyota, where joy rides begin.
So just a quick example, but the ads sound really good. The synthetic voice ads are getting better and better, and they sound great. In fact, a majority of our users are taking advantage of this today because you can just instantly create an ad, save it to the campaign, and you can make as many as you'd like. So that's the synthetic voice option, highly recommended. Of course, if you want a professional studio recorded human read ad, that's absolutely an option here with our produced voice ad option. It's only $10, so very affordable. Ads as well in English or Spanish. Same idea, you drop in a script, choose a voice actor, and here you'll have two options for male or female. Then the list of background tracks and the instructions for the voice actor. And then our team will produce that usually in the same business day, if not the next day. So once you get the ad back, you can preview it. If the client likes it, great, you're good to go. If there's something off about it or mispronunciation, we can revise the ads for you for free. So a lot of flexibility there. So that's the audio ad section. Deb touched on this, display retargeting. It's built into the platform, basically retargeting and multi-channel marketing with one click of the button. It'll set aside 20% of your budget towards that. So we highly recommend including that. People usually see about 4 times as many clicks. In terms of the banners, this is where you'd upload the banners and then you'll upload the destination URL. That can be a UTM link there as well. Highly recommend including all 3 to maximize that exposure. There's no additional cost, so definitely recommend that. And we can always help with resizing and things if need be. So that's the creative section. And lastly, and really most important, is the targeting. So it's going to start with location, gender, and age group as our high-level options here. For location, like we mentioned, you can go all across the US, all across Canada, down to the zip code, and anything in between that. So you just start typing in what you'd like to target. You'll see the relevant options. If you have a list of zip codes, you can both import them here. But as you can see, as I start making changes to the guide, on the right to the targeting, our audience guide will update. So this is really our inventory forecasting tool. It's super helpful for agencies when it comes to planning with clients and seeing what's available in the market. So it's going to give you some ranges. As you can see here, the range for the CPM, the estimated number of ads we're going to play, estimated unique listeners we're going to reach, and that estimated frequency. So this is another place where we can jump in and help you. We can help optimize campaigns and make recommendations. You could reach out to your point of contact or our chat support. We're here to help. But it's a great tool to really understand what is forecasted to be available and help you understand what we could expect from the campaign. So next, in terms of targeting, device type, variety of options in here: phone, tablet, desktop, smart devices. You can reach folks in their connected vehicles. So a lot of different ways to reach the right listeners. Our behavioral audiences. This is really where you can narrow down the targeting based off the client's target audience. So here there's thousands of these. There's automotive segments, there's income level segments, there's people in the market for buying a home, there's people in the market for certain services and products. So again, a ton of different options in here to help you reach the right target audience. If you're not finding something that you're looking for, let us know. Again, please drop that in the question section. It may be something that we can add as well. So last couple things here. Of course, on the music side, streaming side, you can target by music genre. And then down below, here's our pixel. So this is where you can add pixels to the campaign. You could do it in the advertisers tab as well. Again, you can add up to 10 per advertiser. You only need to install the pixels once, and then they will track for all future and current campaigns. So super easy to use. And again, we're here to help you get that set up. At the very bottom here, like we mentioned, we are doing a manual bidding beta. So if you are a current user and that's of interest to you, please drop a note in. We'd love to see if we can help work with you on that. Generally, our bidding is set up to be dynamic and it's automated in order to secure the impression at the lowest possible CPM that we can. So that's how our bidding is set up there. And again, we have flexibility as part of the agency program. Like Deb mentioned, we can talk about setting a fixed CPM, different CPMs for clients. We have a lot of things we can do there. So please reach out if you're part of the program. If you're not, sign up, and we'd love to work with you on that. Lastly is the budget. You can set anything you like in here. As we may have mentioned, a lot of budget flexibility. And at the bottom, this is where you'll enable that agency margin. So you put in the percentage here, and then that'll affect the budget on the right. And so you'll be able to reconcile easily with clients and make sure that you retain your markup, and the reporting will match. So I stopped at every step of the way, but you can save this draft. It takes a few minutes to get set up. You can always come back to it. You don't have to redo this form. And then once you launch your campaign, that's when we go back to the reporting. So this is where you'll track everything. So you'll see this live dashboard here. You can see the campaign that's currently running, impressions delivered, reach, listen through rate, clicks, click-through rate, and the eCPM. If you actually click into the campaign itself, you'll get a campaign report. This is something you can customize. As an agency, you can have it set up with your logo, so you can white label the reporting, which makes it really great for sharing with clients off the platform. You'll see where your ads are most played. You'll get some recommendations on how to make the campaign better. And then here, you'll be able to break everything down. So you can break it down by publisher, as you can see here. You can break it down by those behavioral segments. You could break it down by the pixels if you include those. You'll see that in the reporting. You can see these here, as well as zip code. So this really helps you, city, county, all this in here. This really helps you optimize campaigns. So maybe as an example, we're looking at the zip codes and maybe we're not getting as much engagement with the bottom zip code. Maybe next time we focus on some different locations or put more budget towards where we're getting more engagement and there's more of the right target audience. And this is something you could do on the fly. So the campaigns aren't set in stone. You can always make those changes as you go. So that's kind of the examples of the reporting and the dashboard as a whole. It's really that easy to get set up. And again, if you haven't already created an account, we highly recommend that. We'll help you out to get set up. And after this call, you get that $500 in ad credit to do some testing. So that's really the campaign, the platform. The last thing I'll mention too, as an agency, we have that full agency program that Chris touched on. We have some great resources on this page for agencies. So a lot of great information in terms of our program. We offer trainings, the agency playbook that we mentioned, some great testimonials, and then those perks that we mentioned as being part of the agency program. So definitely recommend checking out this page. There's a ton of great information in here, and we'd love to have you in that agency program. So I'll jump back over to the deck to round us out here. So now that you've kind of seen the platform firsthand, seen some of those agency specific product features and tools, and heard from Deb on how it works, we'd love to help you with your clients. I mean, like we mentioned, there's the amount of time spent by you listeners streaming every day really doesn't meet the overall ad spend in the space. So there's a ton of opportunity as an agency to get in there and really get your client's message heard and also impact those other channels that you're doing as well. But looking ahead to what's coming up for AudioGo, we have a ton of great features coming up. One within the next few weeks, our advanced reporting. We're going to update that. It's going to basically be a live table and a dashboard that you can drag and drop different metrics. You'll have more capabilities. You'll be able to pull totally unique listeners over a time period, a variety of different enhancements to make that reporting even better. So that's coming very soon. Targeting, we're always adding more targeting options. We recently added some legal related segments, personal lawyers, personal injury lawyers and lawyers in general, some HVAC related segments, so a variety of options, and we really take this feedback from you. So please let us know if we're missing something. We'd love to add it to the platform. We talked on that new inventory, and in Q2, like I briefly mentioned, we will be having a podcast expansion offer, which will help you get early access to that new inventory and really increase that incremental reach for clients. And then, like we said, the integrations. So we're working on additional reporting API integrations to make it as seamless as possible to get that data from us. And again, if there's a platform you use, we'd love to hear about that. Please let us know. So that's what's coming up, and that's kind of the content that we had today. We wanted to set aside some time for Q&A. It looks like there's a few questions in here, but since you all took the time today, we really, really appreciate it. This is the code, unlock500. That's $500 in ad credit since you joined the live webinar. So feel free to use that. We'll also send out an email after this, including the code. But please take advantage of that. It's something that you can utilize for new clients, existing clients, and we really, really appreciate you taking the time. So we'll go to the Q&A. I'll leave this up on the slide so that you can see the code. So it's here. But why don't we jump into some of these questions? One question here, will audio ads placed through AudioGo also run on iHeartRadio? Yes, that's a great question. So you may have seen it on the homepage of AudioGo. Our network, we aggregate publishers. So iHeart is part of that mix. So Pandora, SoundCloud, iHeart, TuneIn, some of the bigger names on the streaming side, but that is absolutely included. Someone mentioned they're using Whatograph for reporting. That's great. I think we have another client. That's actually an integration we're in the middle of working on, which is great. Great. Thanks for putting these in here. I'm seeing some other names in there. Questions around pixels in the healthcare industry. Yeah, that's a really good question. I know there are some rules, of course, relating to HIPAA laws. As far as we're aware, our pixels are compliant. We don't share any IP address made or any identifiers, but that is something to double check with the team. So I know we have some that are using it, but I understand the severity of those laws. So we can follow up with you to make sure. Okay. The difference between placing ads in podcasts versus streaming. Yeah, so it's a great question. The biggest thing to think about is the user experience, right? It's slightly different on podcasts. If you were to come in with we call them like radio style ads, right? That might be a little bit abrasive and not match that listener experience. So we recommend usually no background music or very low volume background music. And the great thing about podcast ads as well, there's really high brand recall. There's great brand recall on all of audio, right? You can think of the McDonald's jingle, you can instantly hear that. So that's natural for the medium. But with podcasts, I believe it's over 60% of users exposed to a podcast ad make a purchase. So there's a lot of high purchase intent there as well. So I think that another thing to mention is that incremental reach. We've found through some research that those listeners you reach on streaming might not be listening to podcasts and vice versa. So by adding podcasts to your plan, you're really adding that reach and there's not as much overlap. So it's more listeners in that same target audience. So that's some of the differences. And then follow-up question to that was around stream versus downloaded. Our ads run on both streamed and downloaded podcasts. So your ad could be in a downloaded podcast that listener can go back and hear the ad multiple times. Question around setting a daily cap or frequency cap for brand awareness campaigns. Yeah, it's a good question. So while we don't have a direct frequency cap or a frequency control in the platform, in the back end, we do have frequency caps and make sure that the ad doesn't play back to back in the same ad break. We have that built in to ensure a good listener experience. But in terms of controlling the frequency, that really comes down to your targeting. So you can broaden or narrow the targeting, take a look at that audience guide, and you'll be able to see what your estimated frequency per listener is. And that's, again, where our team can step in and help. Yeah, question around synthetic voice directives. Yeah, we have a full list in our FAQ section. So there's a full list on if you want to give a certain word emphasis or if you want a longer pause. There's a lot of little tips and tricks there that are in our FAQs to help you do that. And you can always reach out to our support if you have questions around that. But yeah, we do have those resources for you. Yeah, some other questions around pronunciation on the synthetic voice ads. Yeah, so it's a good question. What I would recommend is kind of trying to spell it out phonetically. So spelling it out how the word sounds, oftentimes that'll allow the synthetic voice to kind of correctly pronounce that word. And the great thing too is the tool is getting better and better and smarter every day. So these ads, they sound great today. They've come a long way since the last, call it year and a half. But they sound really good and they're only getting better. So I anticipate less of that. But for now, yeah, using that phonetic spelling should help. let's see. How do I sign up for the agency program? Yeah, so the agency program, it's super easy to sign up. Just send us a note on hello@AudioGo or visit that agency program page and agency page. At the bottom, there will be a button there that you click to join. And so you click there, it'll be a quick form and you fill it out and then you're in the program. From there, we'd love to jump on a call with you, learn more about your agency, see what we can do to help. And like Deb mentioned, offer some exclusive promotions, different pricing options, things that can really help you win clients and grow existing clients. So I'd love to have you in the program. Combined target. Yeah, so this question is around targeting. Yeah, it's a great question. So the behavioral segments, they do work as or statements. So that is or statements, but the other section targeting, for example, of course, geography and those segments, those are and. So that can combine. And if you have specific questions around specific segments, let us know. We're happy to help work with you and optimize, help you optimize your campaigns. Great, I see some new segments here. So in market for engagement rings, please drop any of those segments there. We'll see what we can do to add them. Do we have a list of all behavioral audience options? Yes, so in our FAQs, there's a full list. So take a look there. If you're not seeing something, let us know and we'll get that updated, but the full list is in our FAQs for the behavioral segments. A bunch of great questions. Can AudioGo generate an invoice at the end of the campaign to show proof of performance? Yeah, really good question. So you will get receipts that are payment confirmation emails that will have all that information there. You can also download the campaign report with your logo on it at the end of the campaign that includes spend. So a lot of different ways to go about that. And if you need something different, please let us know. As some of you know, we can do billing on card on file or invoice billing, as we mentioned earlier. So we can do net 30 terms if that's something that's required for your clients. So just let us know. Yeah, good question. Around the average CPM that they see on podcast campaigns. Can you set a max CPM for automated campaigns? So that really varies by market. So our system is really designed to secure that inventory for you and win that impression at the lowest possible cost. But as we talked about, we have the manual bidding beta that's live, so you can set a max bid. And if you're in the agency program, there's some other kind of things that we can do around that. So it really depends on the market. I'd say generally for streaming around $10 to $12, depending on targeting and location, and then podcast right now probably around 15 to 17. Again, it really varies, but that's probably some general. And then it looks like some follow-up questions around host-read campaigns. Yeah, well, that's not something we have on AudioGo today. We, of course, being part of SiriusXM, can connect you with folks that can help out. So definitely reach out to us at hello@AudioGo. And then, yeah, that looks like that's the question there. A/B testing. Yeah, I think this question is around the white label reporting. Yeah, so the ability to white label is really in the campaign report today. So that's something where you can download that campaign report and it'll show all your impressions. In terms of breaking out display retargeting impressions, that's not broken out in the campaign report today, but we can always work with you to provide something to give you that white label kind of access in terms of the reporting in a CSV file or something like that. So we can work with you on that. Question about healthcare services. Yeah, we work with a lot of healthcare providers through agencies or direct. So it's a very common vertical for us. And we actually on the podcast side, again, going back to those HIPAA laws, you'll see at the bottom, if you choose our podcast segments, they'll say Z codes. And those actually map to various health related ailments and health conditions. So we do have some great targeting there, and we could help you show how those match so you can help a healthcare client. These are all great questions. There's a ton of them, so keep them coming if you have them. We'll try to get through these. With the new report, will there be an option to download or export the visual portion? Yeah, so it's a great question. With the new reporting, that's going to be for the enhanced reporting. So the advanced reports. The campaign report will stay the same, the kind of clean PDF download that you can put your logo on. But yes, you will be able to export it that report. So you'll be able to export it as a CSV, similar to how you have today. You can have it emailed to you on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, have it scheduled for the rest of the year. And anytime you launch new campaigns, you'll automatically get that reporting sent to you. Some more segment recommendations. Thank you. Yeah, it looks like a couple mentioned that maybe you aren't an agency. That's okay. I think this is still a ton of great, hopefully a ton of great helpful information. But reach out to us at hello@AudioGo if you have questions. We can connect you with someone, or you can get started. But either way, just go to audiogo.com, create that account, and then you'll be in there and able to get started, and you'll have live support every step of the way, even not as an agency. So yeah, if you're not an agency, we're still here to help you out, of course. Yeah, a couple questions around the links to sign up. It's audiogo.com. We'll send that in our follow-up email in case you haven't, but just audiogo.com, and you're able to sign up for that free account. Question around using your own recording. Yep, you can absolutely do that. That's no problem. Just make sure the ads are 30 seconds or less. Good question. Streaming and podcast, does it go to different places, different stations? Yeah, so the podcast side is going to run on podcast shows, whether listeners are streaming the podcast or if they downloaded the podcast. That's where those ads are going to run. On the streaming side, think of it more like running on Pandora or iHeartRadio. It could be across, digital radio stations. It could be across just streaming if they search by genre. So those are kind of the two different placements. Oh, yeah, this is a really good question. Help me understand how Spotify users hear ads through AudioGo. So yeah, so one thing on the podcast side, and I'm glad you asked this question, it's an important piece of information. On the podcast side, depending on the podcast player the listener is using, whether that's Spotify, Apple, Pandora, whatever it is, if the podcast show is within our network, the ads can run there. So you'll see in your reporting, if you do a podcast campaign, a majority of the ads are delivered through the Spotify and Apple podcast player, just because that's where a lot of people get their podcasts. But our ads do show up there. So that's how our ads will surface through Spotify or Apple from AudioGo, is through the podcast side. Okay. This question, we sometimes run direct with iHeart. Is there any opportunity to specifically direct where dollars are going on the streaming networks? This is a great question. Yeah. So this is something that what we recommend for our agents. AudioGo in general is a network buy, so it runs across our network. But in some cases, we may be able to make exceptions. We can't guarantee that, but something that we might be able to do. So I would encourage you, I think this is from Lisa, please reach out to us. We'd love to talk with you to see if there's anything that we can do to help make sure your ads are running on the right platforms. Okay, I know we're at the top of the hour here. Just a couple more questions if folks want to stick around. Can our ads be exclusive from competitors? Good question there. Yeah, asking if the ads can be exclusive from competitors. Going back to that kind of ensuring a good listener experience, we make sure certain categories don't run back to back and things like that. So let's talk more about that if you have a particular question around that, and we could see how we can help you. Oh, great question about the coupon. Yes, the coupon code that will expire at the end of April. So please recommend that you use that. Take advantage of it now. So jump in there, upload it to your account so that you have it, or upload it to the client's account so that they have it. For budget conscious clients, is there a minimum spend for this $500 offer? No, technically not. Our campaign minimum is $250. We'd recommend, using the $500 if that's, the minimum that you can use. But yeah, technically, our system's not going to stop you from running campaigns. We would recommend probably with that budget, that $500 offer, maybe double that, do $1,000, so you can really get some good impressions out there. All right. I think a lot of these are some other questions around segments. Yeah, we'll kind of stop it there. Let's see if there's any others. Yeah, we'll stop it there. If we didn't get to your question, sorry, there was a lot of them. Just for the sake of time, please reach out. We're happy to help out, answer any questions. hello@audiogo.com, or use our support. But really appreciate everyone taking the time here Hopefully it was informative and helpful. And like I said, we're here to help out every step of the way. So join that agency program, reach out. Again, thanks so much. Really appreciate the time and have a great rest of your day.